Joy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Minnie.
We are on day 2 of our 2-day article called It's Okay Not to Be Okay.
那我们今天第2天了，3月8号，在第20、21页。那我们要接续昨天的主题，休息是为了走更长远的路。
Today we got some examples of some people who said, hey, you know what? I'm done. And our first example today, ooh, it made people mad. Ooh, it made people mad in America. Let me tell you, when we get there. But right now, I just want to say that although personally, I have a very hard time letting go and giving up. It's not my personality. I really respect this idea. I think we should know our limits. We should accept and normalize failure. I really do.
老师说他的个性呢，他不是一个容易放弃，不是一个容易就是 walk away 然后就不干了的那种人。但是呢，他真的觉得你意识到自己需要休息，然后真的放下做休息这个动作是很重要的一个概念。
Before the show, we talked about, were you able to think of a time where you tried really hard and said, I give up? And I don't mean like not like a romance, not like boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean something you really wanted and you were just like, I can't do it and I'm walking away.
所以我们刚刚其实在录影以前，我们2个老师有在讨论说，你人生中有没有那个时候，不是说男女朋友不适合分开那种情况哦，是你很努力想要尝试你人生某件事情，可你发现你达不到，然后你很勇敢的说，对，我真的达不到，那我也不要逼自己了。
Were you able to think of something in your own life?
I think I'm me. 我的个性也是一样，我不容易说放弃。但我觉得今天来教这一堂课呢，让我有一种好像这个 article 在跟我说话的感觉。
Yeah, maybe it'll help us think of something. Let us know what you think about that down in our comments.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, bye. Well, we're going to listen to our article. When we come back, we got paragraph 1.
It's okay not to be okay. Simone Biles, with a combined total of 32 Olympic and World Championship medals, got a case of the twisties at the Olympics in Tokyo last year. This means that when doing flips or twists, the world's greatest gymnast had a hard time figuring out where the ground was. So, she told the world she wasn't going to compete because she knew her limits. Instead of sacrificing everything for a team medal with others on the U.S. team, she was cheering on the sidelines for her teammates. If she had pushed herself at all costs, she might have ended up with a lifelong injury. Instead, she knew when to tell people she wasn't okay. Naomi Osaka is another sports star who knows when she's not okay. As a 4-time Grand Slam winner at the age of 23, the Japanese tennis player dropped out of the 2021 French Open. She announced that she needed a break from the spotlight to work on her mental health. In a Time magazine interview before the Olympics, she said, I do hope that people can relate and understand it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it. There are people who can help, and there's usually light at the end of any tunnel.
All right, we're back with paragraph 1 here. Let's take a look. It begins, Simone Biles, with a combined total of 32 Olympic and World Championship medals, got a case of the twisties at the Olympics in Tokyo last year.
那这个事情发生的蛮新的拥有32枚奥运和世界冠军奖牌的这个西蒙拜尔斯，在去年东京奥运上面出现了所谓的空中湿感现象。那这样的情形。
Now, this is a girl. We're talking about a girl here, Simone. This is not Simon. You might know this boy's name, S-I-M-O-N. Maybe you know the story Simple Simon if you're really good with reading English stories. This is a girl we're talking about. Her name is Simone. And that's an important point if anybody wants to say this article accurately. Now, when we say a combined total, we also could say a grand total. You know this word grand because it's like grandmother, grandfather. This just means the big total. And the grand total, the combined total, is just another way to just say everything all together.
对，所以我们这边 combined total, grand total 这边指的就是总共的意思。
All right, so now we have the word medal. Of course, in the Olympics, when you win first, second, or third place, they give you a medal. But did you know in ancient Greece, when you won the Olympics, what they gave you? They gave you pretty much a donut. It's like they fried some dough and they gave you that because they didn't have like gold medal. They didn't do that.
I want a donut.
Right? Like you do the Olympics and they're like, you could have a gold medal or a donut. And you're like, a donut sounds pretty good right now.
I remember because, we get like trophies sometimes when we were a kid, right? 奖杯嘛。哎，又是他。好，对。然后以前我记得我小时候 when I was a kid, I always say 奖杯要干嘛？可以拿来喝水吗？
You just drink out of the cup?
杯
Also, the chocolate medals, did you ever...
I don't like that.
That's right. The chocolate is so bad in the chocolate medals. So if I could choose a good donut or a chocolate medal,
Donut.
Give me that donut all the way.
告诉我们你喜欢 donut 还是 medal?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
All right. So the twisties. Pay attention to this word. We're going to learn what it means in our next sentence. So the twisties, this means that when doing flips or twists, the world's greatest gymnast had a hard time figuring out where the ground was.
那我们刚刚讲到这个 Simone， 她其实是一个体操运动员哦，所以我们这边讲到一个这个引号里面的 twisty， 这个就意味着说在进行空翻还有 twist 旋转的动作的时候呢，这个全世界最厉害的体操运动员他无法判别地板的方向。
Now, sometimes we'll watch like a video and people like will do a couple flips and it's really impressive. An Olympic gymnast can really move. And when you watch some of the videos of Simone Biles in her prime, this means 她最厉害的时候, in her prime, P-R-I-M-E, she was incredibly fast. She was super good. Because she moved so fast and twisted so much, if she missed her fall, she could break her nose, she could break her teeth, she could break her neck. It could really kill her. And she was very, very worried because she had the twisties, because she was not confident, she could really hurt herself.
那老师刚刚讲 in her prime 是一个蛮好的用法，因为 in her prime 它其实就是全盛时期的意思。所以如果你在网络上找这一个体操选手他全盛时期的影片，你就会发现他做的所有技巧都是一个不小心，你可能鼻子就不见了，你可能头就扭到了等等的动作。所以当他发生这个 twisty 所谓的空中失感，全世界人都为他紧张。
Pick up your pencil and circle the word the ground. We don't say a ground. That's a weird thing. When we say the word grounds, this feels like a big garden at a very, very fancy place, maybe a very, very rich person's house. So we would say the grounds has a golf course, a tennis course, 怎么样怎么样. The ground is almost always uncountable, 除了你好有钱的话。
所以老师这边我们讲这边 the ground 呢，其实就是地板嘛。那如果你加了 s 的话，可能指的是你的土地，你很有钱，然后你的土地有很多利用的时候才会加 s， 所以不常见。
Like a castle.
像城堡一样。
Let's continue. So she told the world she wasn't going to compete because she knew her limits.
所以她在这个 twisty 发生了之后，于是她就告诉全世界她不会参加比赛了，因为她知道她自己的极限。
Now, I got my highlighter ready. We got wasn't and going to. 这是什么东西? Was is the past tense, and going to is the future tense. 他们怎么可能在一起？
因为我现在在讲的是已经讲过发生，他说他即将不会再参加比赛。
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. This is one of those weird things in English normally you can't say. Honestly, in your classroom, your teacher might say, don't do that. 这个情况当然有存在, but it's not something we often use. In the past, we can talk about the future. So 这个有可能会发生, but it's not often we say was going to. Right. So when she told people at the Olympics she wasn't going to compete, when I say people got super mad, I mean like rabid dog, like 黄春兵他们发疯了. People went crazy in America over this. And they were really mad at her that she just said, I can't do this. And I remember reading it and feeling really terrible for her. I think she was like 19 or something when she did this. Can you imagine 19 and almost everybody in your country back home just hates you for this? heavy, right? It's a very heavy, hard emotion she had to go through.
But imagine she's your daughter. 想象她是你女儿，你舍得吗？
Yeah, I agree. It was a very difficult thing. But I think that's why we're talking about her today. Let's take a look and continue. Instead of, 这个是不要做的事情, instead of sacrificing everything for a team medal with others on the U.S. team, she was cheering on the sidelines for her teammates.
所以她反而在一旁观赛，并且为她的队员们加油，而非 instead of 我们中文其实放后面嘛，而非为了美国队的奖牌而牺牲一切。
Okay, so on my paper, I wrote instead of 不要做 A, 要做 B. This is really tricky, and we'll see why in just a few minutes here. If she had pushed herself at all costs, she might have ended up with a lifelong injury.
如果她当时不惜一切代价的逼迫自己的身体，那她最后可能就会有终身的伤害。
Cool. Now, at all costs, 不要忘记一定要加一个 est. We won't say at all cost. Let's continue. Instead, 这个是她要做的事情. Instead, she knew when to tell people she wasn't okay.
那她反而她做的这件事情是知道她何时该告诉大家她不行了。
So instead, 要做 A, 不要做 B. This is really tricky. Remember, instead of 是不要做, instead 是要做. Oh, that's really tricky.
Yeah, 所以有没有那个 of 真的差很多。Instead 是你反而要去做的事情 ，instead of 是你反而不做的事情。
All right, let's get ready for our next paragraph. But first, let's take a quick break. Hey everyone, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on day 2 of It's Okay Not to Be Okay. We're on pages 20 and 21 in your magazine, and we're beginning paragraph 2. We just looked at the story of Simone Biles in the Tokyo Olympics. She was a gymnast. Let's move on to a second person here. Naomi Osaka is another sports star who knows when she's not okay.
那大阪直美呢，是另外一个知道自己何时不行了的运动员。
As a 4-time Grand Slam winner at the age of 23, the Japanese tennis player dropped out of the 2021 French Open.
那身为一个在23岁的时候就拿下4个大满贯冠军的选手，这个日本的网球选手退出了2021年的法国网球公开赛。
Oh man, pick up that highlighter. Here we go. We got 4-time. So 4连着好 time. We do not say 4 times. That's right. Why? Because 4-time is our adjective here. And we know adjectives are not singular or plural. 它们不是单数复数. Adjectives are just adjectives. So you highlight 4-time.
就是跟 4-year-old 一样，中间有那个一杠杠的时候，那个 year.
4-year-old child, right? Something like that.
不需要加 s.
And then write the S and cross it out. Do not say 4 times Grand Slam 怎么样怎么样. Okay? At the age of 23, it's pretty young.
Yeah.
All right. And when we drop out of, that means we give up on something and then leave. When we drop out, it also feels like we're leaving. Probably the most common way to drop out of something is to drop out of
school.
High school. That's right. So if someone doesn't finish high school, we'll call them a dropout. It's a noun, but they will tell you, oh, I dropped out of high school. And it sounds very harsh. H-A-R-S-H. Harsh feels very cruel and rude. It's very direct. People normally will not like you calling them a dropout or a quitter. Dropout is a really tough word.
那我们昨天有讲到 quitter 这个字嘛，对不对？那我们刚刚又讲到 drop out， 其实 drop out 它就是有点像退学、退出的意思。所以如果你叫别人 a drop out， 就感觉他好像是一个半途而废的人，听起来其实蛮 harsh。老师刚刚讲到，也是蛮残酷、蛮残忍的一个用法。
She announced that she needed a break from the spotlight to work on her mental health.
那她宣布她需要暂时离开荧光幕前，为了是照顾她的心理健康。
Announce is a great word. Announce just means to tell people, but it means to tell people publicly. This means you're telling everyone, usually like in a letter, a newspaper, a TV show, you would announce something. this would be a big story. You might tell people, you might announce something on Facebook or Instagram telling your friends some big news. This is not like, oh, today I'm at a restaurant. That's not an announcement. This is like, I'm announcing to everyone, I will have a baby. I'm going to have a baby, or I'm announcing that I'm starting a new school or something. This is usually something big.
所以我们在用 announce 这件事情的时候，它是一个很公开，然后很正式的宣布，所以通常都是蛮大的事情，例如像可能生孩子啊、结婚啊、养第15、16、17只猫啊之类的。那 announce 是动词，如果我们要把它变成名词，就是 announcement， 公开的去宣布一件事情。所以你在飞机上听到说，请系上您的安全带，不要离开座位，这个也可以叫做 announcement。
We also can highlight the spotlight here, and you kind of probably know that. Spotlight on a stage. We can see the person on the stage. Another way to say this is the limelight. L-I-M-E-L-I-G-H-T. Limelight. That's one word. The limelight just means the spotlight. It's a little more old-fashioned, but it's still another common way to talk about the spotlight.
我觉得这应该跟时代背景有关系。以前要打这么强的灯，可能需要什么一些石灰啊，有的没的，所以它可能叫 limelight。
Yeah.
对，那 spotlight 是比较新的用法，但都是荧光幕，就代表说聚光灯的意思。
Cool, we got the adjective mental health here. Be careful of the word mental. If you call someone mental by itself, it means they're crazy, and it's also another pretty rude word. But mental health is totally fine. So just make sure you use this word accurately. Don't call someone mental. Just they have mental health issues. Problem also sounds harsh here, so be careful.
I remember, 我记得我跟我老公吵架的时候，我老公有一次说 You are mental， 我整个就疯了，因为当你说
mental，
yes， 然后就 mental， 对，因为当你说 mental， 然后说 You are mental， 某人 mental， 那代表是你是神经病。
Yeah, this is like you need to go to the hospital. That's right.
不行。
Yeah. So yeah, and again, mental health issues, not mental health problems, because again, people they might have a big... All right, let's continue. In a Time magazine interview before the Olympics, she said, I do hope that people can relate and understand it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it.
所以他说在这个时代 Time Magazine 在时代杂志访谈中，他说到我确实希望能让大众理解情况不好的时候，其实也没关系，拿出来谈也没有关系。
All right, so we got the phrase she said here. Please don't say she said.
AI 的读音啊。
I said. No, it's I said. This is a short E, like elephant. You can write that down. And then I do hope is a stress. When we say I do, 加一个原形动词, some kind of verb there, 我们这是加强语气. It means that I feel people don't really believe me. So I might tell Minnie that I can fly, and Minnie's like, no, you can't. I'm like, yes, I can. I can fly. I do. I do fly. Really? She's like, really? No.
所以用 do 加上原形动词这种用法，它是强调作用。我真的可以做什么事情的时候，我就说 I do 怎样。
That's right. It's a very strong thing to say, and it's when people don't believe you, so you really shouldn't use this very common. But it is something we say. Little kids will say it a lot because little kids have those big kind of opinions, right? Adults maybe a little bit more.
是真的。
是真的啦. I can. Yeah. That kind of thing.
太多了。
拍谁. All right, let's continue here. There are people who can help, and there is usually light at the end of any tunnel.
哇，这个写法好漂亮哦。他说有人真的可以帮助你，而且在隧道的尽头通常都会有光。
All right, underline light at the end of any tunnel, and this just means a good result or better times at the end of something difficult.
没错，就是你困境走到尽头，总是会有放晴的那一天。
And we have a really happy ending here, so let me ruin it. Don't forget, there's another way to say the light at the end of the tunnel. When you die, they'll say go towards the light.
Go towards the light.
Right. So be careful of the light in the tunnel. Sometimes it means things are better, and then sometimes it means you're dying.
Yeah, 因为英文的讲法就是说，你要跟着光走，有没有？就是可以好好的投胎，好好去天堂。
Yeah, it's heaven. And heaven's a good place, right? But you gotta die. All right. Well, on that very positive note, let's get ready for vocab review. Hey everyone, it's time for vocab review. Our first word here, combined.
Combine 就代表说总共加起来的意思 combine.
Number 2, we have our noun, medal.
就是你的金牌 medal.
Chocolate medal. So terrible. So terrible. Number 3, to have a hard time.
那就代表说你做什么事情很有困难，或者是很艰辛的一段日子。
Number 4, at all costs.
At all costs 就是不惜一切代价。
And this is always plural, at all costs. That's a hard word to say. Our next word, we have number 5, an injury.
Injury 就是伤害。
That's right. And this is your noun here. Number 6, to drop out of something.
退出。
Number 7, to announce.
代表你要公开的宣布。
Number 8, our last word today is our adjective, mental. And please.
不是 medal 是 mental.
Mental. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and fine. It's not metal, mental. Right. And don't forget, mental is a little bit of a scary word. We want to say mental health or mental health issues. Don't call someone mental. Maybe they will punch you.
所以这个 mental 是心理层面的，我们叫 mental。但是如果你说 someone's mental， 那就是叫别人神经病。
It's a good way to make someone mad. Okay. Well, with that, we are out of time at Enjoy English School. This was a wonderful article. I think it's important to talk about these things. I am Chris Gorski.
I'm Minnie.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.